Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of great millstone taught us is 100% truth according to the spirits of be Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect out there pushing His word through the four corners of the earth in true sincerity. And peace and blessings to you hopeful believers out there which are also part of the elect here. I say Shalom. And once again, I want to say, call hello, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash. Forgiving our Rachakwadash, the Holy Spirit, too, to the lesson on today. Lord and the feast, lamb, and sheep of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. So we got a video through the parents pretty Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. I just want to go into real quick Esau's lousy attempt, of essentially trying to deem beards containing more bacteria than a dog. Than a dog. Even, and that's how you know, man, that this, you can't tell it this is not the man of sin. The nigga ruling, you can't tell me this is not the man of sin pursuing the 2 Thessalonians, because this individual, as a matter of fact, let me get this right here. Right? Job 9:24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Who is the wicked? Pursuing the Malachi 1. The wicked is Esau Edom, the so-called white man, the red man, which is currently in rulership now. And how do we know? Because he checks off all the boxes. And this article that I found, that it came out recently. It came out September the 15th, 2025. So it came out this year on September the 15th. You see? So it says, he covered the faces of the judges thereof, if not where and who is he? It's not where, where and who is he? You see, this nigga Esau, it's evident that he's in rulership, man. Let me get this Isaiah 24, because you gotta remember, we're gonna get it. Esau has a godlike complex, man. He has a godlike complex. Isaiah 24 in verse 5, it says, the earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. And what makes the earth defiled, right? What makes it defiled? Where it's going to go into? What makes the earth defiled or detestable? It says, because they have transgressed the laws. What laws is it referring to? What laws are you supposed to abide by when it comes to ruling your kingdom? What laws on earth? Well, the laws of Yahweh Bashim Shai. Now we know that they wasn't given unto the heathen nations, they was given unto the sons of God. But essentially, what do the laws of the Lord do? They forward life, pursuant to Sirach 19:19. This is the doctrine of life. You see, even a Sirach 4, the everlasting commandment of life. He did keep it, brings himself to life. So the wisdom, this knowledge, this understanding of these scriptures, the law, those were given for life in the earth. Those were given for creation, right? To flourish. I always say this to the parents pretty get how much Mama Shy. You look at creation like it's a business. The Lord gave the keys to how to run his business to the Israelites. And we're looking at a result. We're looking at a result of somebody that's been in the power seat, right? He's been set up as manager. He's not the CEO, but he's been set up as manager and showing forth what it looks like when somebody decides they don't want to follow the guidelines that the Lord has set up. You see? As a matter of fact, let me pull this real quick. Pull a couple more of these scriptures real quick. This is Isaiah chapter 29, verse 16. It says, surely your turning of things upside down should be esteemed as the potter's clay. For he shall the work say unto him that made it, he made me not. So should a thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding. And that's what you see happening. You see the clay piece which is Esau Edom, is saying that the one that created him, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, has no understanding, so I have a better way. And that's how we know, looking at that article, that's just more evident right there that the wicked is in rulership, man. The wicked is in rulership because there's law pertaining towards the beard, because and even with his military, he's already said in his military that a beard is weird. I think he said that. I think it was a Department of War. They're not the Department of Defense. They're in the Department of War. And he said that they're going to be doing daily checkups, And then he also mentioned, the beard is weird pretty much, But it says surely to turning the things upside down. That's the earth being in a detestable state. That's the earth being defiled because of the inhabitants, because the ones that it is in power seat has turned the earth upside down. So I'm going to read a little bit of this article. It says, Times Entertainment. It says that September 15th, 2025, right? It says, studies find men's beards to have more bacteria than a dog's fur, right? It says, picture this. You spend hundreds of bucks doing your best to keep the crown and glory of your face. Your much coveted beard polished, slick, and stylish. And then you get to know it's the free ground of bacteria even more than dog's fur. A small but eye-opening study has found that men's beards can contain more harmful bacteria than even the fur of dogs. Right? And it's funny because what is the point of this? Right? Because it says, look at it. It says potential risk. It says most beards won't cause illnesses. However, with certain bacteria present, there is a chance of skin infections, irritation, clogged pores, or worse, if the bacteria enter wounds or mucous membranes. Staph aureus can lead to abscesses or more serious infections in vulnerable people. And it's funny because the point of a beard is to protect your face. The point of the beard is to protect your pores. But here it is, they're saying that, we were wrong. Your beard actually attracts bacteria. It's more of a bacteria playground than dog's fur. And on top of that, it doesn't protect your pores. It actually allows the bacteria to sit on your face so it could get a chance to get into your pores and cause infection, which is stupid because the point of a beard is to protect your face. Because you got to think about it. In ancient time, men, they didn't, because the woman, that's the reason why a woman can't grow a beard. That's the reason why women are supposed to be covered up, because they can't grow particular things, right? I looked it up in chat, particular benefits of the beard, right? It says a skin barrier. It protects from the UV rays. It says cold wind protection. It says helps prevent windburn, dryness, cracking of skin. Essentially works like a natural insulation. It says benefits skin health. It says natural moisture retention, traps these oils, keeps the skin hydrated, prevents over drying and cracking. But here it is, Esau's trying to deem it as something not beneficial until you going once again according to the scriptures, pursuing Isaiah 24 and Isaiah 9. If I'm not mistaken, that was Isaiah 9. What was that? Isaiah 29, Slakia. See, saying what the Lord has fashioned is wrong. And when you think about it, because you've had heathen nations in prior times, you had other heathen nations rule. You had them have their idols and their gods. But one thing they did, first off, a lot of the other heathen nations, they was fine with the beard. And secondly, a lot of the other heathen nations, they didn't they acknowledged the power of Israel a lot of times. Nebuchadnezzar did, the Egyptians, they got to know the power of the Lord. All them Amorites, the Philistine nations in the book of Joshua, they know, like the heathen nations, they acknowledge the Lord. They acknowledge the power of the Lord. You see? They acknowledge it, but here comes Esau. He doesn't want to acknowledge it, nor the Lord's order. He could care less. You see, under cited Cyrus the Great, which is a Persian, right? Under Cyrus the Great, which is a Persian, that's how the second temple got built. You see? But this nigga Esau, he's like, nah. Right? So let me get this real quick. Let me get this 2 Thessalonians, because this is just another indicator that this man that's in the power seat is indeed the sons of the wicked. And there's also another indicator that we're gonna get the hell up out of here. So this is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. It says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, right? So we got to discontinue from our heritage before the day of the Lord returns and we receive salvation and the kingdom of heaven gets started up. In a physical aspect, it says, and the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Who's the man of sin and the son of perdition? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, which it even says that, because it gives a characteristic of him, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worship. So he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. That's why when you look at niggas like Noval Harari and Cotton Swab, and you look at the World Economic Forum, and you got, Edomites, there's always an attack. And even with iconoclasm, the destroying of icons, they sought to paint the likeness of their images, pursuing the first Maccabees 3. Why you think is always the God it's the God of the Bible? It's always the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's never Buddha. He ain't iconoclasm no Buddha. He ain't iconoclasm those deities, and those Hamitic deities, Ra, none of them. But when it comes to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, this nigga Esau got to make sure he's represented at him. Like, okay, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because essentially in history, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, a lot of the heathens understood that that was the true omnipotent power too. A lot of the heathens understood that. I mean, the book of Joshua shows you that. Even when you had a time with the Philistines, they had Dagon. Dagon even showed them that. So so that's the true. The heathen nations know who the true power. So Esau puts himself as that phrase. You see, which no other heathen nation did it. No other heathen nation did iconoclasm. They didn't go and destroy the icons of the Israelites and put themselves there. Esau did. And just going to the aspect of the beard, you see, the point of him saying that, because he's trying to provoke Jake, he's trying to provoke you to shave your beard, to get rid of your beard, to shave your beard, which according to the law of the Israelites, you ain't supposed to be shaving your beard, man. You see? Let me jump down and get this. I'm gonna get the law on it. It says 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 9. It says, even him who's coming is after the working of Satan. What does Satan mean? Satan means adverse. So that's mean that this individual that would be ruling, which was ruling during the time of Rome, which rules during the time of the Greeks, he would have a mannerism of being adverse towards the Lord. That's how he will operate. His system will be geared and built upon being adverse towards the Lord. And Esau, Edom is indeed that person. Because when you look at the heathen nation, they wasn't doing that. Nebuchadnezzar wasn't sitting here making icons, destroying icons of Jake. Oh, you're God. No, y'all God. No. But here this Esau comes along. That's his whole MO. Saying that the God of the Bible don't exist and he's the omnipotent power. But that's how the Lord designed him, because he's the perfect antagonist, the perfect rival, enemy. You see? It says, even him whose coming is at the working of Satan, so he's going to come in the spirit of adverseness with all power and signs and lying wonders. You see? So let me get the law. Right? Going into the beard. Right, this is Leviticus 19 and 27. It says, ye should not round the corners of your heads. Right? That means getting edge ups. Neither shall thou mar the corners of thy beard. You see? What does it mean to mar? Mar goes into meaning to destroy. Let me get that in the let me get the blue of the Bible. Leviticus 19. And 27. Even the NLT said, do not trim off the hair on your temples or trim your beards. You see? Well, it doesn't mean, it's a sin if you trim. It's going to pretty much cut off, right? So let's get that word mar right here. It's ata, or ath. Okay, that's not it. What's this? Shakath, right? And it says to destroy, to spoil, ruin, pervert, deal, to spoil, to corrupt, destroyer, destroy. Let me see what it says in here. It's a lot in here. It said to destroy, to ruin, either by laying waste as a country or a region. So when it says not to mar, right, the corner, not to mar your beard, mar the corners of your beard, it means to destroy. Don't destroy the corners of your beard. Don't destroy your beard. You can trim your beard, but don't destroy. But what is Esau doing with that? He's trying to get you to mar your beard. I don't want it. I didn't know it did all that. I didn't know it's more disgusting than a dog's fur. Nigga, you have the closest type of hair to a dog. But you're going to put it on all of us. You have the closest type of hair to a dog. That's why when your ass sweat, you smell like wet dog. You smell like a fucking dog. You see? But this is just more evidence that the wicked isn't rule. You see? And I don't know why he's trying to pull it, but this is also a part of him trying to initiate his authority in the earth. This is my rule. You don't need no beard. You can't have no beard. You can't have this. Because we got to remember, he's trying to establish his N to the W to the O. So we know that C-Hip is going to come along with control. And you know he's going to be making you niggas cut y'all beard off. Because that's his law. That's his law, his statutes, and his commandments. You see? So yeah, man, lowliness is edifying to the power and spirit of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, and feeds you lamb and sheep of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. I just want to touch on that real quick. You know, a little back to the basics. You know, ain't go too deep, but nevertheless, the son. Nice try, Esau. You know, the sons of the ring is definitely in rulership. You can't tell us no otherwise. Look what the fuck he's doing throughout the earth. Look at what he's doing. Come on, man. What more do you need to know? But Lord is edifying, and I'm saying, call law, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai Bahashim HaKadosh. I'm going to get them honor to the apostles and the elders of the millstone. And to y'all, I'm going to say shalom.